Welcome back to the channel, guys. So yeah, it's a brand new day and we've let these brakes completely cure over now. So they've had, I think, about 2, maybe 3 coats of lacquer. So they've come up really nice, really glossy, exactly what I wanted. And they are the exact same colour as the car. So they're colour coded and matched to the car, which I really liked. In time we'll get some stickers for the front for the Brembo parts. Probably going to go black with those as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these unhooked from here, take the lines off, and yeah, we will start stripping these down, getting the pistons out with the seals, and start rebuilding these basically. So these are going to be nice and fresh, nice and clean for when these go on. They're not going to go on straight away when we get this up and running, because I did from the previous videos, if you look back, I did rebuild all the calipers and put all new brake discs and pads on this car, and they've not been used. So I want to at least get some of my money's worth out of them beforehand, before we put these on. So these will be ready, and then when we go to do some track days and we find that these brakes are maybe not as good or they're not working as well, we can then do the upgrade and put these on. So they'll be there ready, and shouldn't be too much bother to get them on and do the conversion and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my plan. So use these for a few track days, get them warm right down, and then once track day season's over the winter or so, if that even happens this year, these can go on. So yeah, that's the plan. Like I say, let's get them rebuilt, get them redone, and I'll show you how I go about it basically. Right, so I've moved on to getting the pistons out. I didn't actually film it, so I was basically just trying to figure out how to get these ones out first. And it's a bit tricky because I haven't worked with 4 pistons before. But what I've figured out I need to do is I've got my air compressor on, and we're just pumping air into one of the bleed valves, blocking the other one off with your finger, sticking a rag in here because they will fire out like a bullet. So you just got to be careful with those. They do fire out really fast. But obviously the problem I've got with these is when one piston comes out, all the air will come out of that piston that's already out, and then you can't get enough air to the second one to get the second one out. So you have to kind of block all the holes that all the air wants to escape. And luckily my compressor just got it to the edge where it managed to get it out. So we've managed to break both of those out. We've got the seals off. These are the pistons here. You've got one smaller, one bigger there, and we just need to do the other. So I just figured it'd be a lot safer as well, because I was trying to do it in the vise, popping them out, but like I say, they shoot out like a bullet, and the last thing you want is one of these hitting you in the face at, I think they come out at like 40-50 psi, so they that's pretty powerful and enough to probably do a dent in your face. So what I've done is, like I say, I've bolted them together just with 2 bolts there, and then that way I can stick a rag in here, and then the piston can just basically smash against this other side, but obviously not chip the paint because of the, like a rag or something like that, like an old t-shirt I've got stuck in here, and then we can blow them out. So I need to do the other side now, and we'll go from there basically, but it'll be the same for both. And yeah, it's just a safer way of working, so they obviously, like I say, they don't fling out and hit you in the face or in the leg or in, anywhere basically. So yeah, I'm gonna get the next one out and we'll go from there. there we go, guys. So like I say, I've got the bleed nipples, the brake line here, just fixing all the holes basically that any of the air can leak out of, and then we can compress air in it, and then we just have to sort of stick our fingers over it while we do it, just to stop it again, because the air will still want to come out. Just this, it minimises it down, doesn't it? So right, let's try this then. So got a rag, we'll tuck that in there. And then get our airline. I've had to use a tyre one because I've lost my normal airline one, so this works just as well. So if anything, it works probably a bit better because it can clip on the end here. Just got a little wet wipe, dry wipe here. Stick that over there again just to make the seal a little bit better. And then luckily with this, it's got little teeth in it. It can actually pinch the end of the brake line, so the end of the brake fitting. So there we go, so that's secured a bit better. And all we do is push this on. Obviously make sure you got your glasses on. So I can see them moving. Yeah, so they're both equally coming out. And then it just wants to do that now and again. So it's a bit fiddly, but like I say, it's the safest way of doing it. I'll put my stomach. If I put something there, like that, it might not want to come off then. You heard that then, that really banged. Right, there we go, guys. Again, didn't film it again because I was trying to, I need to use about 3 hands to do it, and I was just trying to get it placed up because it's really fiddly. As you got the idea, obviously, like I say, blocking the holes and then just trying to hold it all down while it popped out. You just hear a loud bang and it popped out. So the seal's still in there. I'm going to break these apart again, take the Allen keys back out again, and then we can take the seals out and inspect it all. Guys, so yeah, just get a pick, just clean up the edge there of the seal. We don't want any of the old crustiness in there to break the new seal. So there we go, so that's the old seals. That's why I said I didn't care if I got paint on them because we're going to change them. So as long as the actual thing's okay, the pistons have got a bit of paint on them, but that's not the end of the world. So yeah, they look really nice and clean. The bores look perfect inside. There's no rust, no corrosion. The pistons are all perfect, so these have definitely been well looked after. They've not been sitting around in a scrap yard or somewhere like that, basically, or someone's shelf for 50 years. So right, so what we'll do is we'll just give this a quick bang off. So it's just important to keep these things clean, keep inside there clean as well, no dust and crap to get in. So that's one of them. I'll put that over there. That's one half anyway. and then this one, both the seals off. So you can see there's a bit of crustiness around the seal, so we'll just give it a clean up with the actual pick there, and then that'll just stop the seal breaking or getting bound up on it basically. Right, so what we need to do next is we've got cleaned up all the seal edges. So the next thing to do is to get the square cut seals out of here. So again, just grab your pick again, and you'll see that there's a square edge seal just in here, and just be careful not to damage the walls of the piston area, because it will snag on it. So you just get your pick in there, and then, well, if it's not being fiddly, there you go. So one square cut seal, so that's what we're replacing as well, and this is what keeps the piston pressurized against the piston wall, and allows the pressure to be fed behind it to give you basically a firm pedal. So yeah, very key that these are maintained, looked after and put in properly as well. You've got to make sure they're not twisted when you put them in, make sure they're flat. The flat edge is always sticking out and there's no kinks, because it's very easy to twist these as you put them in. So yeah, key point is get some brake fluid and just lube it up before you put it in, and then you're all good to go. So that's one, and then we'll just do the rest. That's it. So all the seals are out there. So that's basically one full caliper broken down, repainted and ready to rebuild. So there's not much else to it. All brakes are pretty much the same. Obviously there's just more pistons and the layout's slightly different, but generally you've got a square cut seal and piston and an outer seal. So yeah, obviously there's not much difference to them all, but key point is just to be safe with it. Take your time and just make sure these seals are cleaned up and ready to go for the next lot that's going in. So yeah, that's next step anyway. So I'm going to give these a good clean up, because we don't want any brake fluid on these. Most of the brake fluid is gone, but obviously because these are freshly painted, I don't really want to get any marks on them. The brake fluid is quite corrosive, so it would undo all the paint job work that I've done. That's partly why I left it so late to do these as well. So I wanted these to have a good few days of curing as well. They have slightly marked with my soft vice grips as well on the lacquer, but very faint, so it just shows you that the lacquer's still soft. But that's with some good, you know, in this shed it gets really hot, so it bakes it quite well. Right, so next thing I'm going to do, I've got all the new rebuild parts here, so we'll just get these out here. So they've bagged it accordingly, which is nice. We've got all the new bolts and those shims that I was telling you about, bleed nipples and screws. So we'll put the bolts back because we don't need those just yet. We want to rebuild the actual calipers, so that's one of the last things to do. And then we've got a whole kit of seals, so we'll put one kit back because we're doing one at a time. So there we go, we've got new square cut seals. We've got new bleed nipple covers. I'll probably reuse the old ones because they're genuine Brembo ones, so I'd rather them. But we've got some spares. And then we got 4 square cut seals. Remember, 2 are bigger than the others, so 2 small, 2 bigger. I don't know why they didn't just do 2 of the exact same pistons, but hey ho. And then we got 4 of the outer seals there as well. So the key to these, to get them on nice and flush, because the problem is with these seals here, you need to put them on the back of the piston when you actually put them back in. So they need to be, so if that's the front where the red is, if that's the front there where the red is there, you put the seal on from this side, get it in that seal there on that lip, and then push it all the way to the back, so that when you push it back in, it will slide gently all the way to the front, and then it will sit nicely as it gets to the front face. So otherwise, if you just put it on the top, it will just pop off every time, and obviously that's no good. You'll damage the piston, and then the piston's ruined. So that's what you need to do for that. I shall get some brake fluid so we can lubricate these up, and then we'll put them in. Alright, there we go, guys. So I've got some brake fluid in a little pot here. It's just some .4 Brembo fluid I had knocking around from years ago. So anything like that will work. So yeah, we got 2 new seals. Just work out which ones are which. That's the smaller and the smaller. So that's a pair, that's a pair. So just get it lubricated up, and obviously where I've painted these I need to be really careful not to get any on the paint, so we'll just push this in. And we'll grab the pick wherever I left that. And that just helps you seat it down. So it's completely sitting in there now, so that's nice. Then we've got the bigger one here, we'll just put that in. And it's just a case of seat it in the bottom there. And then you can just feel it going in as you go round. Dry my hands off a little bit down here. So just make sure the seal's not twisted, which it's not, and it's sitting in there nicely. And it's going to sit a bit proud obviously of the surface, which is what you want, because then that's what grips the piston. But that looks really good. Really happy with that. So just get some of this out of here. Right, that's one, and then we'll put the pistons back in. So we can dip these in the brake fluid as well when we put them in. And like I say, you just want, what do we want? We want one of each seal. So there's another set, we'll leave those there. There we go, so we've got the seal all put on, so you want it right at the back of the piston there, and then as soon as you push it forward it should seat in there nicely. So we'll just put some more brake fluid on it. There we go, guys. I did actually miss it. I put it in the vise, turned it a couple of cranks, and the seals actually slid forward and tucked in nicely there. So I'm just going to keep tightening this up until the pistons are wound back a bit more. I think we got plenty of clearance, not hitting anything. So yeah, just get yourself some soft jaws basically to do this, because obviously you don't want to damage anything. And then that's what we don't want there, is the seals come off there. So that wasn't properly seated. We'll take that back out and we'll push it back in. There we go, guys. So like that, just pressed it back in for a second, put it back in the vise, just crimped it right down so these are flush, and then like I say, that gets a good nice seal then, and then they pinch themselves on themselves. So yeah, pretty happy with that. That's one completely done there. We've got the shims here to go on the side, so I'll put those on now and just show you those. But these were an absolute nightmare to get off. I actually had to weld the like a screw or a nut or something to the outside to get them off. So yeah, just be prepared if you do these. Yeah, I couldn't find another way of getting them off. Mine was so badly corroded that they just wouldn't come off. I don't think I have one there. Yeah, so that's basically what I was getting at there. So I had to keep, that's the screw that goes for that, and then I managed to weld another one to that, another one to that, and just kept undoing these, because there was no way these were getting undone, because of the heads that are on them, they just don't come off. So they just completely corroded and were no good. So luckily we got a new set. It's going to look nice and clean, nice and new, and we've got nice new shims as well. So we could have reused the old ones. We've got the old ones in here, but they're absolutely battered anyway. They look a bit crusty. So yeah, we don't want to use those. So we've got some spares anyway. Yeah, so I'll go and put those shims on now, and we'll go from there. Right, well, it seems that I didn't know this, but I don't know why I didn't even look at this. My shims have a bend in them, and these ones came completely flat. So I'm guessing I'm gonna have to bend these myself, which isn't great, really. I thought these would come done, but so now I've got, what have I got here? 8 shims that I've got to now put in the vise and hammer. So I'm going to do that and then come back to you when I've done it. Right, unfortunately, because of these plates not being bent, I've tried bending one and they just don't quite fit properly. So I don't want to risk it. I'm going to put the old ones back in, which are the original Brembo ones, and then I should get much better fitment. Yes, they're going to look a bit crappy, but you'll never see them inside anyway. So let's we'll put these back on. Yeah, they just fit so much better. Look, I'll show you here. So that's the original Brembo one. Fits nice and flush down there. And then the one I bent, that's here. See, I just don't have a sheet metal bender, so that's, yeah, not fitting there, and on top of there is curved as well, so I just can't get the right bend on these. So I'm not going to waste my time, and I'm going to just put the old ones in now. So I'm going to get some copper grease on all of the bolts as well, so this won't ever happen again, hopefully, and seize up, so they'll be nice and easy to get off for the next person. Right, so let's put the first one on here. So just like that. This one's already been copper greased. Get our Allen key, and goes in so much better with the original. So Unfortunately, that's the problem with aftermarket parts. Sometimes they just aren't up to standard, so I was hoping we'd be alright, but unfortunately not. So that's done up. Right, and yeah, so I'm just going to do the rest like that. As you can see, got a nice new bolt in there, copper greased, and then the shim plate there. So yeah, I'll crack on with the rest. We'll do this one anyway, and then we'll do the pistons and the seals on this one here. Right, so we've got the other half of the piston, or the caliper, sorry, here, and yeah, we're just gonna do the same we did, exactly the same as what we did for that one, and just rebuild the seals, put the square cut seal in, grease them up, or brake fluid them up if you like, and yeah, pretty much same example on all of these. So exactly what I've done for that one is going to be done exactly for the rest of it. So other than putting the bolts in to actually bolt them back together, that's pretty much a full piston rebuilt, a full caliper, sorry, rebuilt. I'm just doing it, have to do it 4 more times, so it's exactly the same. We're just going to put the bleed nipples in that go in each end of these. We've got the brake pipes to bend, and then that should be the rest of it done. But I probably won't get all of this done today, and I'll probably leave it on this one to do this one, and then this one I'll just do off camera. So you've got the gist, you've got the idea, and this is how it's basically done to build up these Peugeot 406 Coupe Brembos. So yeah, if you like the video, guys, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what you thought about these. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.